Hello everybody, I hope you guys are having a great afternoon. Today we're going to be looking at major winter storm Caleb, which could be impacting parts of the northeast, mid-Atlantic, even the southeast, and Great Lakes with some snowfall. Some could be major, some areas could be receiving over a foot of snowfall. So we're going to be going in and looking at pretty much all the models and seeing how much snowfall they're forecasting from the system. Before we do get into the video though, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you never miss a video when I upload. Now, we're going to start off here with the National Weather Service. Still some air stagnation advisories over the northwest, and that's just going to be due to reducing air quality in those areas. Now we have winter weather advisories over central Montana as that next batch of snowfall looks to come in to that area late this week. Now we have a big mess over here, and all that purple is winter weather advisories, and that's anywhere from about northern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, all the way stretching up into the northern part of Maine, where you could all have winter weather advisories. Then winter storm warnings in effect for the interior northeast and part of the Great Lakes. So this is anywhere from northern Maine, northern New Hampshire, northern Vermont, much of northern and western upstate New York, northwest Pennsylvania, northeast Ohio, and then also eastern and western parts of Michigan, the UP of Michigan, and then even far north Wisconsin. And then we have even another batch of winter weather advisories over here for parts of western Texas. You could be picking up an inch or two tonight. And then you have some hard freeze warnings also, that little area in that darker purple. Freeze warnings in effect for parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. Freeze watches in effect for the coastal areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and then also for parts of southern Alabama. And this could be your first freezes or frost of the season. And then you even have some wind chill advisories over parts of extreme southern Texas, near the Mexico border, and that's going to be due to some wind chills down close to 32, so that would be enough to give a wind chill advisories for those areas, especially since it's only November and you're having this cold air all the way seeping that far south, and high temperatures today for those areas were in the 80s, and low temperatures tomorrow will be in the 30s, so that's a 50-degree contrast in temperature, so definitely something very interesting. Then you also have some wind advisories for much of the southeast here, and then another area of some wind chill advisories. Now, we're gonna we're gonna look at this early eastern snowstorm. But first, before we do that, I just want to show you when you are supposed to see your average first snowfall, and the areas in this shade of purple, this shade right here, the grays, and then the whites, those are all the areas that should have seen snowfall by this point. So really, if you're not in that color, you should not be seeing snowfall by this time of year. And most of these areas can be seeing snowfall. These areas that shouldn't see snowfall this time of year, very far south, could actually still be seeing snowfall. And even look down here, you could be seeing snowfall tonight, and you're supposed to get snowfall sometime between the middle part of December and into even some areas after December into January. So definitely very interesting how far south all the snow is gonna get, since even Chicago, you've seen 4 inches of snowfall this year from one system, and you're not supposed to see snowfall. That was on around Halloween, I believe, and you're not supposed to see snowfall until about the middle part of November to the late part of November, and then once you get into the coastal northeast, you shouldn't be seeing snowfall until at least the middle of December. So interesting how far south and how early the snowfall is. Now we're going to look at the NAM 3KM model, and we're going to be going hour by hour. So this would be for tonight, and you see this snowfall is moving out and into parts of the Great Lakes with some fairly moderate snowfall, and that's going to be by about tonight. This would be around 7, 8 o'clock once you're starting to go to bed, and you see it's starting to push into the northeast by tomorrow morning, and now we're gonna zoom into the Northeast as it's getting into more of a just the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic storm, and you see a lot of ice developing by Tuesday morning. So definitely a pretty bad commute. Tuesday morning over these areas. This is a lot of ice over Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, New York, right in your early part of the morning when you're just trying to get out of the door to go to school or work. Now, this rain and ice, the snow, rain, and ice is going to move closer to the coast, and by about tomorrow morning, I would say closer to around 8 or 9 o'clock, you're going to be seeing some rain showers along the southern or the central and northern I-95 corridor, and then you even see some of the Appalachian Mountains, the southern Appalachians, seeing some snowfall, but that's mainly higher elevations, but it's very far south. Even those areas shouldn't be seeing some snowfall for this time of year. Now, as we continue, snowfall starting to break out closer to Philadelphia, and it's gonna quickly engulf the area. So this would be right around, I would say, 11 o'clock, 11 a.m., and then by 12 a.m., or 12 p.m. I should say, it's into New York City and Philadelphia, and then it's gonna move out quickly. But some models have it staying for at least 3 or 4 hours. So this particular model doesn't take it out too far, but some models actually take it for about 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. So those are the models that accumulate about 2 inches of snowfall in these areas, and then it moves into Boston and parts of coastal Maine by about, I would say, 4 p.m., and then this would be for 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. It's moving into Cape Cod, and then it's pretty much all said and done by about 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And then you see some lake effect going on over parts of the interior Northeast. And some of these lake effect bands could reach all the way, I would say, anywhere. If you're west of this, you could be seeing a threat of some lake effect snowfall, because these are going to be some pretty elongated bands of snowfall, so they could even make it all the way to the coast. We'll have to see with that one. Now, here's what the NAM 3KM model is showing, and you see, anywhere in those darker blues, that's about a tenth of an inch to about 2 inches. So that's a good portion of even into the southeast, and then stretching up the I-95 corridor, and then all the way up through southern New England. So that's a good swath of areas that are just going to be picking up around the coating. Now, if you're in that lighter blue, you're going to be about 2 to 3 inches. So that's for the interior Northeast, southern Canada, and the Great Lakes. And then if you're in those purples, that's about 4 to 6 inches. So that's some lake effect snow. But then once you get into parts of northern New York, northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and then into Quebec, Nova Scotia, all those areas, you could be seeing about 4 to 5, 6 inches of snowfall. 6+ inches once you get into those pinks, 6 to 12 inches. So that's much far northern New York, Vermont, and that would be for Burlington as well. Northern New Hampshire, northern Maine. This big swath here is going to be seeing about 8 to 12 inches. Now, we're going to look at what a couple other models are showing as far as snowfall. Now, here's first what the National Weather Service is saying. So this is about a tenth of an inch to 2 inches in those grays, 2 to 6 in those blues, 6 to 12 in those purples, and then once you get into those pinks, that's about 12+ inches, and if you get into a blue, that's about 2 feet of snowfall. So you see, the National Weather Service is predicting about a foot of snowfall for these areas, and then about a dusting, about 3 inches or less for much of these areas, and these are just the accumulations, so this definitely you're gonna have some snowflakes for these areas, but probably won't accumulate as maybe on those grassy surfaces, but probably not, especially once you get closer to the coast. Now, here's what the RGEM model is showing, and it's showing fairly pretty much the same thing of what the NAM model is showing. Here's what the WRF-ARW is showing. This is the first model from this, and then the WRF-ARW2 is showing more, and this is the model that has snow over the I-95 corridor for about 6 or 7 hours, and you see 2 inches, 2 inches for anywhere from about Virginia, around Virginia Beach, all the way up through to Boston, and then into coastal parts of New Hampshire and Maine. So that's definitely something that is unlikely to happen, not out of the question though. Now, as we go onto the HRDPS model, and you're seeing about a good swath of 3 to 6 inches, and lake enhanced, of course. Now here's what the icon model is showing, and the icon is very similar to the European usually, but they are two European models. This is the German model. The European model is the general European model. But for this storm, I was looking at the actual precipitation for this, and it had a low pressure developing this very far north, and then it was moving pretty much northwest, instead of what other models are showing is a low pressure developing around southwest Pennsylvania, and then kind of moving out like this, and then giving some back end snowfall to these areas. But that's not really what's happening with the icon model. So this is definitely an unlikely situation, but again, it could happen, just like I believe it was one of the WRF ARW2 model showing 2 inches. It's the complete opposite with this one, but still could happen. Now here's the GFS model, and you see generally what the icon model is showing. The GEM model showing it a bit further south, but not closer to the coast. Not as close to the coast as the other models. Here's the European model, and you're seeing a bit more farther south, definitely, and you're seeing it for the coast as well, this snowfall. Now, here's the EPS, the European Ensemble models, and you see generally same thing, and almost all models are showing this swath of snow from about northern Maine down through northern Vermont and New Hampshire into Montreal, down and then down into the Great Lakes and into northern New York. So we're fairly certain on that. We're also fairly certain on Michigan, especially closer to the lakes, seeing snowfall, and then also some of the southern Great Lakes. But we're uncertain about this area, the I-95 corridor. Really, even though we're only about 12 to 24 hours out from this system, we're still seeing some uncertainty. Some models showing absolutely nothing in the form of snowfall for those areas. Some models showing about 2 inches. So a big disparity between all these models. Now here's the temperatures, and we're only going to go out to Wednesday, and we're just going to show you the temperatures, because there is going to be a great change in temperatures, probably a 20 degree, negative 20 degree difference in temperatures between today and about Wednesday morning. So we're going to show you that right now from the European model. Now here's right now what's happening, or right about, this would be for tonight. So you're seeing generally in the 20s and teens, 30s, below freezing for much of these areas that are seeing snowfall currently from this system. And yes, the system is currently ongoing, and it is named Major Winter Storm. I don't know if it's major. I think it's just Winter Storm Caleb, but it is going to be fairly major for these interior areas. Even the National Weather Service showing about 12 to about 15 inches of snow for those areas. But you see the coast, you can really see where that low pressure is situated right now, and there's a warm front right in front of here. So you see the cold front is right here. This is your cold front right here, and you're gonna see your warm front developing somewhere along this area. You're gonna be seeing a warm front right around here. So below here, in the 40s and 50s for your low temperatures, but it's quickly gonna change, and you're gonna feel it. You're definitely gonna feel this great change in temperatures. Now, as we keep on going into Tuesday morning, so Tuesday morning, once you're walking out of the door for the I-95 corridor, we'll move it back one. Still in the 50s, but it's gonna rapidly decrease. It's probably gonna be colder when you're getting on. It's probably gonna be warmer when you're getting onto the bus around 7, 8. 9 a.m. than it is when you're getting off the bus. Usually when it's warmer, when it's usually 10, 20 degrees warmer. It's probably going to be 50 degrees when you're walking out for work and school, and it's probably going to be right around 30, 20 degrees when you're coming off the bus. So definitely I would recommend bring a jacket to work, or something, just some layers, so that you could take some off in the morning and then put them back on once you're getting off to work, to come home from work and school. Now, as this system continues to move by Tuesday afternoon, you see 30s entering the parts of the coastal Northeast, and the storm has moved by now, and you're seeing 30s for your for temperatures once you're getting home from work and school. And then overnight, temperatures are going to be in the low 20s, high teens, some single digits over especially the interior Northeast and northern New England. And then your high temperatures for Wednesday, I want to show you this. Your high temperatures are going to be right around 32 degrees for much of these areas. Not getting out of the 30s, potentially some record cold high temperatures. So I believe some of these records are in the 40s or upper 30s for your record low high temperatures, and they haven't been broken for quite a while. So potentially some records broken, and it's actually going to be fairly likely that they are broken. And then it continues to deepen as you get farther into the night. Now, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, as it greatly helps the channel, and I did put a lot of effort into this video. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. That was Eli, the weather guy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.